The 70-year-old mother was here taking care of her adult green card holder who was going through chemotherapy. But the mother, the 70-year-old grandmother, was here on a visa waiver. And she only had 1 week left and needed to return. But the chemotherapy is not over. The daughter is extremely weak. She needed her mother by her side. What can she do? We were able to get the mother the satisfactory departure to allow her to stay in the US for an additional 30 days to be with her daughter. It might not be much, but it's just what they need. Hi everyone, my name is Joseph. I'm the managing partner here at Zahn Associates, where we solve legal problems with creative solutions. So the legal problem is when somebody comes in on a visa waiver, they can only come in for 90 days. And you have to leave. You cannot extend your stay. You cannot change your status. If you came in on a different visa, on a traditional B1, B2 tourist visa, where you are formally approved by the consulate, then you have 6 months, and then you can extend it for additional 6 months. But visa waiver, 90 days. And if you don't leave, then you overstay, then your privileges get canceled, and it's not a good look. A lot of people in this circumstance, what they do is they leave the country like for 1 day or 2 days, and they come right back. And then you explain to the CBP officer your situation, and potentially you can get additional 90 days. Completely up to the discretion of that officer. Of course, these CBP officers are very concerned. Are you violating your status? Are you working here illegally? You know, if your daughter has cancer and going through chemo, shouldn't they hire a nurse? If they're hiring you, the mother, that might not be a good look. But in this situation, she couldn't. Why? She's 70 plus years old. The daughter needed her by her side, by her bed every single day, to the point where when we had to do this case, it was even hard for her to go to downtown, to go to deferred inspection, to request the 30 days. Like, she couldn't leave her daughter. We contacted many different CBP officers, right? So we go to a lot of these meetings and we contacted a lot of CBP officers. And one officer said, this is a very unique situation, but I understand her situation. Both of them need to come physically to us, and we will allow them to exit and come back in, and she will get additional 90 days. That was great. That was already a tremendous win. But they're like, no, this is still really too hard. Can you try to help us get an extension without us even showing up? So the other officer we went to was really reluctant, want them to be physically there, but they were willing to do it, to grant the additional 30 days without having to travel very far. The problem with that is they wanted all these documents that they did not have. Sure, they had some documents, but again, remember, when they contacted us, we only had a week left. By the time we got into the conversation, we only had a few days left. But they wanted tons of documentation. What were you doing here for the 90 days? When you leave, how soon will you be gone? Proof of all the medical records, proof of why you're staying here, proof you have enough funds, you're not working legally, all of these things, including proof of a trip abroad, right? You buy the plane ticket, show us you're going to leave. And then we were able to get another officer involved. It just happened that the CBP officer who was the director who we just met at the meeting at LAX was there, knew about our case. He was there. It's like, you know what happened with this case? And was kind of leaning in on what's going on. And we were able to explain the situation, and the officer said, well, you know, do you have a flight number? Just get us the flight number. And we're like, can you tell your travel agent number to get us the flight number? Like, you know, if you can't, I'll go on my American Express and find the flight number for you right now, right? Because we just needed like FL186. That's all we needed. Like, the officer wanted to approve the case and wanted to find reasons to approve it. That's a completely different attitude. The officer looked at the situation and was like, this is an extreme situation, and, you know, a 70-year-old grandma is not going to be a threat to our U.S. economy, you know, caring for her own daughter. The case was approved. They got the 30 days. We didn't need to go through the arduous task of preparing like all these other documents that normally is required to get that satisfactory departure. Mind you, we already went to USCIS, and USCIS, right, the people who are authorizing these extensions, basically said, you know, we'll call you back in 72 hours, which they never did, you know, go figures. But CBP officers, again, were able to save the day. In this situation, for this family, that additional 30 days, the value of that is priceless. And if you have any questions about your situation, feel free to reach out. Take care. Bye-bye.